Alright guys, watch this real quick. We are so back. Yeah, the pure irony of talking about a movie that mainly revolves around vampires while actually getting a light, like to use for videos, is just irony at its finest. So yeah, I recently watched El Conde. This is the latest movie from director Pablo Larraín. If you don't really know that name, he is a Spanish language director mostly, but the two big movies that ended up breaking it into like a more mainstream sense was his two big awards movies. Jackie, the movie about Jackie Kennedy where Natalie Portman played her, and as well as Spencer with Kristen Stewart playing Princess Diana. I think Spencer is one of my favorite movies of this decade so far. I can do a whole separate video on Spencer. Honestly, I think I have a video up on the channel already, but I might do a whole nother one. And Spencer was his last movie. I really wasn't even aware that he had a movie coming out this soon. I know that he has another biopic in the style of Jackie and Spencer coming out soon. I know it's about an opera singer and Angelina Jolie is playing her, but I do not remember the name of the singer. And for a long time, that was the latest project that was in my mind when it came to Larraín and his latest work. Admittedly, I have not seen any of his Spanish language stuff. I've heard very good things about one called No, but other than that, I haven't really gotten a chance to watch any of his stuff in his native language yet. So I guess El Conde is my first time diving into it. And I'm just going to say right now, I am trying my best with these pronunciations. I took American Sign Language instead of Spanish in high school, so please forgive me. This is essentially a satirical take on the infamous Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet. This is definitely an area that I am not really well versed in history, but I do know the name Augusto Pinochet. I say satire here because I tell you it's a movie about a Chilean dictator. I get that. But now we have, in real life, Pinochet died in 2006. That is very much a fact. Like we know he's dead now. And this movie pretty much says, like this whole time, Pinochet was a vampire, still alive, and is ready to die. And now his surviving family members are basically coming back home and trying to see what they can get from him since he is a vampire that's ready to die. Basically, it's what I see Succession as someone who has not seen Succession. And this is a very ambitious idea. This is a very weird idea for a movie, just flat out. Although this did premiere at the Venice Film Festival, and it actually won a pretty big award. It won for its screenplay, which, again, put it on my radar of something to really watch out for this year, at least not as well as in terms of my personal interests, but as well as awards. And yeah, I can tell why this won screenplay. It's probably my favorite part of this movie. I don't really talk about the actual writing in movies, although this is what I want to do in life. I want to be a writer. So I actually think that this is a very clever script, although I am aware I did watch this on Netflix, that's where you can stream it. There are some translation issues in there, because it's always like that for Netflix, but there are some incredible lines in this. There's well, not just lines, just overall structure of this movie. And even though it's a little slow in the middle, that's what kind of puts it pause for me for this. It's just in terms of like, wow, this is an amazing movie, which, spoiler alert, I think this is an amazing movie. The acting in this across the board is actually pretty good. Jaime Vadell, Gloria Münchmeyer, Paula Luchsinger, and Alfredo Castro. Those are the main actors that I want to highlight in this. And I think they are the main actors of the movie. But I think those are the highlights of this from an acting perspective, and just they're working so well with each other. The whole ensemble, it's an ensemble cast pretty much. But this is just knowing whether it's a combo of, to my knowledge, pretty big names in Latin America, as well as people who have worked with Pablo Larraín in his Spanish language movies. I don't know if I said this earlier, but this is very much a dark comedy. I actually think this is one of the funniest movies of the year in a couple of aspects, in terms of, like, it's very much a dark comedy. I'm bad at describing stuff like this. If you like darker humor, this is definitely the movie for you, but there is a very specific stylistic choice that is done in this movie that kind of threw me off at the beginning of it. It happens a little bit throughout the movie, but it ends up becoming a narrative reason, and this, I guess, reveal, if anything, is one of my favorite movie moments of the decade in terms of genuinely insane things from a political standpoint. And just, I can't believe it. And it is one of the hardest I have laughed in a movie this year. Like, just flat out. This is one of the things that is gonna stick with me for a while. Also, from a technical standpoint, as a film crafting thing, I really adore this movie as well. Pretty much everything behind the scenes is great. But I want to shout out the cinematography, especially from Edward Blockman, who has been in Hollywood for a very long time. I'm pretty sure this is the first thing he's done in a hot minute, and this movie just looks gorgeous. And I think it would be a shame if this does not get nominated for cinematography awards across the board. Hopefully at the Oscars, but this better be on their radar. Yeah, I guess I don't have much else to say about El Conde. I think this is one of the most ambitious movies of the decade. It's such a weird idea to take a monster in real life, like genuine awful person, and somehow make them even more monstrous. And just, like, and it works to this degree. It's pretty fantastic. I don't know if I'd say if it's my personal favorite screenplay of the year, but if I'm looking at this from, like, oh yeah, from a writing perspective, all this is hands down one of the best screenplays of the year. And again, same with cinematography. If this does not get nominated at any awards body, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna give El Conde a 9 out of 10. This is a very weird movie. If you are into this, if you're also into vampire movies, I think this is definitely worth a shot, especially with how repetitive vampire movies can get now. I think this is definitely worth watching for that alone. But if you're a fan of, like, dark comedy and also political humor in general, this is definitely one to look out for. Alright, if you have seen El Conde, I haven't seen many people talking about this one. If you've seen this, what did you think about it? If you haven't, tell me your favorite vampire movie. Admittedly, it is a genre that I don't know too much about, except for, like, the really big, popular, and good ones, and I guess also Twilight, since that's vampires. But either way, let me know in the comments below what you think of El Conde. What's your favorite vampire movie? Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. See ya!